It'll be Will Lutz kicking it away with Velus Jones back deep. It's a touchback. And Matt, what are you looking for? First down and 10. Fields keeps it, gets rid of it quickly to Robert Tonyan, who picks up 9. Tackle made by Delarian Turner-Yell.
319.
On 2nd and 1, Fields back to the air to DJ Moore. And that's good for a first down to Mari Mathis on the tackle for the Broncos.
Matt mentioned that in the pregame, and he's right.
Fields designed to run, but Denver was ready for it. Leading the charge, Alex Singleton.
Hey, Stanford.
2nd and 11. Fields was looking to run again. Denver ready for it. And there's the sack for Nick Bonito. The second-year linebacker out of Oklahoma coming up to make the play, and it's 3rd and long.
The Chicago Bears were trying to do here, spread everybody out, give an empty type look, and allow Justin Fields in zone coverage to find space and go run. But Nick Bonito's a veteran here. He knows exactly what's coming.
3rd and 15. Cooper's coming. Fields throws, and it's caught by DJ Moore. Slips a couple of tackles, spinning his way, and very close to a first down. He's going to be just short.
I just think given how the season is shaking out, this is an opportunity you need to go for it.
Bears fans agree with you, but instead Trenton Gill is punting away to Mims, who calls for a fair catch at the 16-yard line.
In this group and be aggressive, and they choose not to go for it on that 4th down.
On first down for Denver, Wilson sets up a screen to Javonte Williams. Williams with some room and knocked down at the 20.
It's going to play the game that Russ has always played. You see it there on the first play. Just make easy, quick decisions.
2nd and 6. Russell gets rid of it quickly, and he's got a man. And it's Chris Manhertz with just his first catch of the season for Denver. Wilson again throwing. Nice catch by Judy. And there he goes. Jerry Judy. Another Denver first down. Trying to take advantage. They run it here with Javonte Williams, and a nice play by DeMarcus Walker. The former Bronco, who was drafted by Denver in 2017, makes the play.
Look how deep Elijah Harris is on this play. They're terrified.
Loss of 1 on that play. Wilson on 2nd and 11. Blitz coming, they pick it up. Wilson stands in there and finds his man Nate Atkins, who's knocked out of bounds by Jack Sanborn.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 57. Defense, 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Play action, Wilson dumps it down to Williams at the 30. Wrapped up at the 29-yard line. Here's Jaleel McLaughlin, the running back. He finds some room, and a nice run by the undrafted rookie out of Youngstown State. 3rd and 1. Play fake. Wilson on the move. He's going to do it himself. And that's exactly what Matt Eberflus told us on Friday. They run it with Samaje Perine, his first carry today. 10th play of his first drive. Wilson escapes the pocket, rolling left, throws too high and incomplete. That'll make it 3rd down and 7. Bears fans making some noise. It's 3rd and 7. Wilson gets rid of it to McLaughlin at the 15, up ahead, and he's still going for a touchdown. On 3rd and 7, the Broncos take it in and jump out to a 6-0 lead.
190 pounds, maybe even less than that. He's got the only rushing touchdown on the season, and here he is in this screen pass, making something happen.
Big 77, Quinn Miner's out in front just to set up the touchdown on the screen.
I love those linemen that love to make blocks downfield. They're my favorite. Now he's back on the kickoff unit. This is awesome. And he's not even the safety. He's going down to cover. I love that.
Sprinting down the field. McLaughlin.
The more you can do.
In the game, guys.
We love it too. Thank you so much, AJ. On 1st and 10. First run today for Khalil Herbert. Fields over the middle. Oh, what a catch. catch and a first down for Chicago. That is Darnell Mooney with his first catch since week 1, a 16-yard gain.
A play action pass where you're in the gun. You don't have to turn your back for long. They've got a stop route from Darnell Mooney right there at the hash. Good, accurate timing throw from Justin Fields.
Fields keeps it with a blocker ahead and picks up a couple, and then 11 last week in Kansas City. This time he hands it off to Herbert. Fields holding on to it, now throws sideline, it's caught, and it's going to be very close. Pat Surtain had the coverage on the catch by Mooney. And they're saying it's 4th down and short, and let's see what Eberflus decides to do here. 4th and 1, under center, it's Tunyon, and he was the one that took the snap, and Denver saying they stopped him.
That's a risky call on 4th down.
It was Cole Kmet actually who took the snap.
Cole Kmet, 6'6", 260, so he's got the body to do it.
And he got it just barely enough.
319.
Drive continues on 1st down. A pitch to Herbert.
I mean, I feel bad for Khalil Herbert, man.
Listen, this is a little thing here, though.
319.
Should be the final play of the first quarter. Fields fakes it, holds on to it. Here comes Gregory. Fields gets rid of it to Mooney, who's got some room. Darnell Mooney with Chase Claypool inactive. Picks up 13, and that's the end of the first quarter. 9th play of the drive. 1st down and 10. Fields was looking deep. He's going to take a shot. Downfield, he's got a man more. Was he in? No signal yet. Touchdown! DJ Moore!
Well, this one is going to be close. You see the right foot get down there. I don't know if that right foot actually touched the ground. I'm not sure it caught any of the grass. I mean, that was an unbelievable body adjustment by DJ Moore, but I'm not sure this that right foot does not catch the ground.
He did kick the pylon. Let's watch this. Ooh.
Well, I think as a quarterback, you have to take ownership of what your offense looks like. Hopefully this is a step in the right direction.
Mims loses the kickoff, picked it up, and he's buried.
They're not. The pylon is irrelevant on the play. I only had 1 foot down and thought it was incomplete.
Interesting. Okay, so maybe the Bears get a break. They run it again with Williams trying to get to the outside. And Williams only gets a yard with a flag down. And it looks like a hold. Quick pass. Caught by Mims, and he is spun down. That's a great play by Greg Stroman, the 5th-year man out of Virginia Tech.
This is a very nice open field tackle. One of the things Matt Eberflus talked to us about was just making tackles in space.
Best thing that Stroman did there was drive that play instead of waiting for it to come to him. Got a big offensive lineman coming to blow you up.
Short punt by Riley Dixon and a fair catch by Trent Taylor at the 44. Need a printer down on the Denver sideline. And before the snap,
I think the Microsoft Surface is a lot more effective.
13 offense. 5-yard penalty remains 1st down.
Out of the penalty, 1st down and 15. Fields throws on the run. DJ Moore has it again. 1st down inside the 25.
At a high level.
Interesting to watch this matchup. It looks like Patrick Surtain is following him.
Roshan Johnson on the carry, the rookie out of Texas. 2nd and 7. Fields wide open is Kmet. Touchdown Bears. How did Cole Kmet get so open? Chicago takes the lead.
Yeah, it's beautiful right here. You're going to see them motion to this 2-by-2 set, but they're in cover 3 on the defensive side of the ball, and it screws up responsibilities of defenders right here. You're going to see indecision by 49 and 42 of who's supposed to carry that seam. Really set up the wide open touchdown pass on the seam.
10th career touchdown for Kmet, his first of the season.
Basically ripping into them. You know, they are short in the secondary, but this defense is not making any excuses. They have a standard that they want to play to.
Remember, we told you Javonte Williams questionable with a hip injury. He's not out there. McLaughlin, the running back, on 1st and 10. And they do run it with the rookie. Slips a tackle. McLaughlin very shifty. And he picks up the first down. A 14-yard run for Jaleel McLaughlin.
Gets downhill. Not trying to over-juke a guy in open field as well. You see him as he comes up on the safety. Just puts one foot in the ground, gets north and south. Forces an arm tackle, which is harder to do, though.
20 yards rushing for McLaughlin. He also has Denver's touchdown through the air. Wilson to the air here. Rolling out, still on his feet. Keeping the play alive, and now he's taken down.
But he misses completely on the linebacker, on Jack Sanborn. In order to be an every down player in the NFL, especially on pass downs, you've got to be able to stick your face into that of a linebacker. Most of those guys are bigger than you, but you cannot let them get to the quarterback. It disrupts.
You've got Javonte Williams going down, and it's probably a guy that's worked pass protection during the week.
And then movement up front and a false start.
Number 69, offense, 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Third false start of the season for Mike McGlinchey. Some bad memories for Broncos fans there. 2nd and long. Wilson completes it over the middle. And to the 34-yard line is Cortland Sutton. Tremaine Edmonds, the former Buffalo Bill, on the tackle. Wilson, good protection. Checks it down underneath. That is Pirine running over defenders and stops short of a first down. Second one today for Riley Dixon. End over end kick. Taylor calls for a fair catch at the 15. With 8:35 to go in the first half. There goes Herbert, and he's got room with one man back. And Turner Yell may have saved the touchdown.
From Miami, who does this all the time, but you see Herbert get into open space and finish this run. One of the things they're talking about is trying to get him to play more consistent, more nasty.
319.
Flea flicker. Fields gets decked, and it's caught on the juggle. Was he in bounds? Yes! St. Brown was able to reel it in. One.
Oh, that's a catch.
Pretty close.
That's a catch.
Another review here in Chicago. We'll be right back. Last 4 Fields completions have all been for at least 20 yards. Back to the air here. Or will he run it? No, he's throwing because Kmet is wide open again. Wow, this Denver defense is getting picked apart by Justin Fields.
Out of sorts on the defensive side of the ball. You can just see it, and Kmet is just running wide open. This doesn't happen very often in the NFL. They saw it a lot last week. It might happen often to Denver right now. But if you're a Bears fan, and if you're Justin Fields right now.
Yeah, Luke he's got the right game plan. A lot of crossing routes.
Herbert trying the right side. Stiff arm on Sanders. And down to the 13-yard line. Fields fires incomplete. A lot of contact. There's the flag. Kareem Jackson bumped into Cole Kmet.
Pass interference. Number 22. Defense. Automatic. First down.
First and goal for the Bears, trying to add to their lead. Play fake. Fields rolling right. He's going to turn it up, or is he going to throw it? He does! Touchdown! Number 2 for Cole Kmet.
Examples of other teams. Last week they played the Kansas City Chiefs, and they do the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. He runs to the line of scrimmage, waits for the defense to commit, and then throws the ball or runs it. Great job by Justin Fields here. Locate, including you, Andrew.
He's now thrown 3 touchdowns in his last 6 passes, as the extra point is good.
So last week we heard Vance Joseph talking about the speed, how he just wasn't prepared for the speed of Tyreek Hill and Devon A-Chain and what the Miami Dolphins were throwing at them.
Those are the things that cause you to lose games.
Wilson throwing on first down on the quick slant. He's got a completion to Cortland Sutton, who's immediately tackled by Jack Sanborn. Pirine gets a carry here, and Samaje Pirine runs ahead for a first down. Wilson in trouble, escapes, able to get rid of it. Nice catch by Atkins, who's smacked down at the 38-yard line. Terrell Smith on that tackle. On 2nd and 8, they pitch it. McLaughlin, again, elusive, but has to do all that work just to get 1 yard.
Eberflus decides to send some pressure. They have 5 men around the line of scrimmage.
Flag down before the snap. They blow this dead. Another false start on Denver.
False start, illegal snap, number 79, offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Wilson steps up. He's going to run it himself. Can he get to the chains? He slides down short, takes a hit, no flag, and it's 4th down.
To me, I think this is again a situation where you should be aggressive.
Dixon boots it away. Taylor moving to his right. He calls for a fair catch at the 16-yard line. And they blow this one dead.
False start, number 75, offense, 5 penalty, remains first down.
Fields, he's got DJ Moore wide open. And Moore holds on after the big shot from Turner Yell. Another pass play of 20 or more yards, this one for 23.
The Denver Broncos defense, and you look about miscommunications, you see corner shoot and jump. Pat Surtain right there shooting, trying to jump an inside route with a little head and shoulder fake from Justin Fields. This is another really good catch. Looked like it could have bobbled there for a second at the end.
98 yards receiving for Moore in the first half. 2nd down and 9 out of the 2-minute warning. Fields has plenty of time, locates Kmet again, and he bulldozes his way for a Chicago first down. Fields, pressure coming, and he is sacked. Sacked by his old teammate at Ohio State, Jonathan Cooper. Those two were very good friends.
And this is just speed on the edge against Larry Borum. And it's just, speed is the hardest thing to go against when you just got straight bull rush speed on the outside.
Minute to go. Fields to Roschon Johnson. Johnson out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Bears still have all 3 timeouts with 54 seconds on the clock, but a 3rd and 14 here. Fields to Tunyon at midfield, cuts it back to the 48 and tackled there by Jaquan McMillan. 4th down for the Bears. Oh, they jumped. My goodness.
Number 62, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Fields chased out. Benito's after him. Fields throwing on the run, deep down the field, and it is knocked away and incomplete, and that's how the first half ends. And that is Fields' first incompletion. Matt!
15 of 16, 1 miss on a Hail Mary. Pretty good first half for Justin Fields.
You might want to think about heating things up. That is putting some pressure, dogs and blitzes, changing the look so that you make Justin Fields a little bit uncomfortable.
Big time, AJ. We'll get into that in a moment. First play of the second half. Wilson to the air and finds Judy, who dropped the ball. Delayed handoff, and there goes McLaughlin to the 30, and McLaughlin tackled a yard shy of a first, so here's that 3rd down that Russell Wilson talked about. Long 1 or a short 2. 3rd down. Wilson in the shotgun. Movement up front.
False start, number 77, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Wilson runs out of the pocket. Fans wanted to hold, no flag. Wilson deep down the field for Judy, incomplete. No flags, it's 4th down, and there's that critical 3rd down that Russell Wilson so desperate.
To me, good on them, right? A unit that's been banged up, stepping up and making a play on a 3rd down.
Taylor on the return, gets away from Smith and moves up ahead just shy of the 35-yard line.
of frustration to seep through.
First drive of the second half for the Bears, and they run it with Herbert right up the middle. They bring pressure here with Singleton coming, but Herbert on the carry, and he gets to the 41-yard line. AJ, how about an injury update? Fields with time to DJ Moore for a first down. Wrapped up by McMillan right at midfield.
Something has changed with Justin Fields.
Pressure's coming. Benito has Fields, and Fields was still able to hang in there and throw it away.
I think they're calling this.
They're calling it a sack.
Yeah, forward
I think
progress. Even though he did spin out of it, almost got it away.
Fields slings one to Kmet, tackled at midfield by Drew Sanders.
Tight ends, big targets like that allow you to not have to be perfect.
3rd and 9, pressure coming. Fields takes a shot and still completes. DJ Moore had 11 catches in the first 3 games. He's got 7 today. Here's Velus Jones trying to get him in space with that speed. Breaks 1 tackle, still going, and then a late flag flies as Randy Gregory finishes off Jones. A 13-yard gain if it stands, but Denver indicating this is coming back.
Illegal block in the back, number 58, offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first.
That's Darnell Wright.
Cooper's coming again. Fields able to get rid of it to Mercedes Lewis. His first catch is a Bear. He's 39. He was drafted in 2006. Herbert up the middle. This is his 255th career game. 3rd most among tight ends. Play clock down to 3. Herbert again. McMillan comes up to make the tackle at the 26. Fields, Herbert lowers his shoulder, but McMillan is there. In the Broncos, they have to limit them to a field goal here.
Yeah.
3rd and 7. Fields has all day to Mooney. He's got the first down. Dragged down by Turner Yell.
Denver Broncos, they're just kind of standing around. Nobody's ready for the snap. And so it's not surprising when you get these crossers again coming across the field.
Johnson's inside the 5 and down to the 2. Roshan Johnson, the exciting rookie out of Texas. Johnson, the tailback. They give it to Johnson. Trying to fight his way forward, and he is shoved back. 15th play of the drive, 3rd and goal. Fields keeping the play alive to the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Herbert.
Well, they put him on the edge. They go with the keeper action, but this is all Justin Fields. I mean, this play was not designed to work like this.
Meanders around until Justin Fields finds him.
15 plays, nearly 9.5 minutes come off the clock. As AJ told us, no Javonte Williams the rest of the game, out with a hip injury. Wilson finds McLaughlin. Flag is down. Wilson took a hit, and I think this is going to be roughing the quarterback against Jaquan Brisker.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 9. Defense, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
McLaughlin through midfield. He's got the speed into Bears territory and ripped down from behind at the 26 by Brisker. But McLaughlin continues to impress. 32 yards for the rookie.
It's into the hole. Just a little stutter step. Cuts through 2 defenders. Slows down. Puts on the brakes. This is like a Top Gun. Just throwing the brakes. It's going to go right by me.
Biggest play of the day for Denver so far. Piron out of the backfield. Inside the 20. And another Denver first down. Brisker, another tackle. Movement.
False start, number 69. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Wilson, and he's got his man McLaughlin again, who gets down to the 8-yard line. Pirine trying to nudge forward, and he's right at the sticks. It'll be close to a first down. Russell Wilson trying to do it himself, gets an extra nudge from his teammates, and we'll see where they spot it. They're throwing. Wilson has time, good protection, to the end zone, wide open, touchdown. Brandon Johnson, his third touchdown of the season, and a big drive for Denver. They had to have it against Washington, and now his third of the season right here.
And this was beautiful scheme to just get Brandon Johnson screaming across the back.
Will Lutz on for the extra point, and his kick is good. So now a 14-point game. Have been touchbacks, and he adds to his total. Saturday, another great SEC. Can they get a stop? First down and 10, Fields to the air. And downfield, incomplete, but a flag flies from the secondary.
Prior to the pass, holding. Number 2, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Roshan Johnson on the carry. Hit hard after a 1-yard pickup. DJ Jones on the tackle, and that's the final play of the third quarter.
Denver hasn't had an answer.
2nd and 8 to open up the quarter. Fields runs out of trouble and will keep it himself and dives up to the 35-yard line. Fields over the middle, broken up. Turner Yell got a hand on that one. Mims at his own 15. High spiraling kick. Mims back to the 10. He's going to return it. Mims with Traymon Smith in front of him, following his block to the outside. And a nice return by the rookie Marvin Mims. And after the Mims return, they'll start at the 32-yard line. They pitch it. There goes McLaughlin again for another Denver first down. Jaleel McLaughlin, 13 more yards.
Of the offense, get movement. It's like a zone toss. Just gets his foot in the ground, goes north and south. He plays with such pace. As a defensive lineman or a linebacker, you can't help but want to just flow outside, which creates holes behind him.
See if that continues here. Mims in motion. A play fake. Wilson just throws this one away. Nobody there. It's second down.
No intentional grounding. Receiver number 38.
Play clock down to 2. Wilson trying to get it off. He does. Pressure coming. Wilson fires to Judy. And Jerry Judy has a first down. 3rd and 1. Wilson, we saw this earlier, and a flag is down. And another false start.
False start. Number 72. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
3rd and 6. Pressure's coming. Wilson fires on the run. Judy's left alone, and he's got the first and still going. Jerry Judy to the 25-yard line. Brisker on the tackle.
Best players have to make plays, and Russ extends the play here, and Jerry Judy's just wide open. But this is because of a play extension by Russell Wilson. Good finish, protecting the ball. That's always a time where ball security is at a premium.
And this is where Matt Eberflus is looking for more out of his front 4. Only 1 sack today, 2 on the year. Brisker jumping over defenders. Wilson throwing and throws it away. His 6th team in 8 seasons. McLaughlin. A nice tackle there by Terrell Smith, the rookie out of Minnesota. NFL Today update, JB and Nate. Wilson, and he's got Humphrey, and great job after the catch by Humphrey, and it looks like he's very close to a first down. His first catch today, 1st and 10, Denver back in the red zone. Pirine stacked up. Justin Jones in his 2nd year with the Bears on the tackle. Judy in motion. Wilson back at the end zone and out of bounds. Incomplete. Wilson over the middle. Caught. Touchdown. Cortland Sutton. And the Denver offense has come to life in the second half.
Anticipation by Russell Wilson with the little skinny post to Cortland Sutton. It drives us in between two defenders. A really nice throw to a big target. But when you have guys down there that are 6'4", 216, 6'4", 225.
Extra point by Will Lutz is good, and all of a sudden it's a one-score game. Lutz has been a master on the touchbacks, and he's got another one here. Throwing on first down, takes the check down to Herbert. Sanders is there for the tackle, but not before Herbert races for 6 yards.
Quarter, you can throw all those numbers out. They're giving themselves a chance to win.
Herbert, and he's got the first down, stretching out across the 35 and up to the 37-yard line.
Defense here, continue to do the things that have gotten you to this point.
They hand it off to Tyler Scott. He's got some space on the outside and pushed out of bounds by Surtain. 2nd and 2. Herbert again. He's got the first down again into Denver territory and down at the 49-yard line. 1st and 10. Play fake. Pressure's coming. Fields lost the football. Cooper scoops it up off to the races, and he will score! Bonito knocked the ball out, and Cooper, Fields' former Ohio State teammate, takes it back.
He's turning his back to the line of scrimmage, and we talked about that at the start. They've done such a great job of keeping his eyes in front of him all day. Turns the back to the line of scrimmage there and just does not feel Cooper coming off the edge. He's been nearly perfect all day, but that one hurts.
I understand the play call from Luke Getsy. I understand it. I get it. You're trying to defense's eyes going the other way. But edge rushers don't chase action away from them any longer. That's out of the NFL.
Fields at Ohio State, they're planning to exchange jerseys after the game. That's going to be a tough picture depending on who wins that one.
Might be a little awkward after that last
tough.
Leading up until this game, this will be clutch.
Fields locates Herbert. Cooper comes over. And Herbert with a nice job after the catch, still going. And a first down and a late flag.
Holding, number 84, offense, 10-yard penalty.
It's okay, but if you're outside of it, especially downfield.
6.5 to play. Herbert on the ground this time and gets up to the 30-yard line. Tackle was made by Bounce. 2nd and 5. Pressure's coming, and off the fingertips of Herbert, incomplete.
Big, tight pads around their shoulders. I mean, seriously, to protect themselves.
The left tackle, Larry Borum, moved early.
Number 75, offense, 5-yard penalty remains 3rd down.
3rd and 10, and the Broncos fans here at Soldier Field are making some noise. Fields surveying the scene. Now chased out. He's got some room to run. He'll run it. He's got the first. All the way up to the 46-yard line.
Denver goes with some line games. They're trying to switch guys, contain rush. But he's patient in the pocket and then allows himself to find a lane to scoot. And he's explosive when he gets into the open field.
Approaching 5 minutes to go. Tied at 28. Herbert again has had some space up the middle. Looking for more, and he's got the first down. Herbert bruising his way, carrying defenders with him. Oh, Khalil Herbert.
But you see the Broncos bring pressure. Perfect call, the little toss from the backfield to the right side, running away from the pressure, but it's the finish. In Chicago, this place is dying for this, right?
Absolutely.
Energy, effort, physicality. This is what Bears fans want.
There's one thing that is not coachable in sports, especially in football, and that's effort.
Effort.
Back on the ground with Herbert, gets away from Sanders and gets some extra yards out of it, but there are a couple of flags down.
Well, you look at it as the clock gets to 4 minutes left in this game.
Number 58, offense, 10-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Short passes, running game, it's wearing them down.
2nd and 17. Herbert, and this time Denver was ready for him. Singleton. They run it with Scott. Space on the edge. Scott still going and knocked out of bounds short of a first down by Turner Yell, but that's certainly helps with the field goal. Herbert, can he sneak through again? No. Stopped a yard shy of a first down. Turner yell. They go for it. And I don't think he got there. I know you guys say you like it. Why not go for it the first time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're thinking you're going to get it, and you do it. But I agree with Tiki. I think in critical situations, if you're going to be aggressive and go for it, you put the ball in your best player's hands, right? And you try and give Justin Fields, who's been the most dynamic runner for them for the last.
Would have been a 35-yard field goal. Instead, Denver takes over with the ball and one timeout. Wilson on first down. He's looking deep. He's got Mims down there. There goes Mims, the rookie, tackled at the 34, and Denver's already in field goal range.
Field goal opportunity for the Broncos.
A 47-yard connection to the highlight film rookie. Pirine pushing forward and then tripped up from behind. Nice tackle by Andrew Billings, but that takes us to the 2-minute warning.
I think so. Maybe right here on second. They go into 22 personnel, so 2 tight ends, 2 backs, and 1 wide receiver. This is a heavy run set.
And they do run it with Pirine. And he loses a yard on the play. 3rd and 10. Wilson in the shotgun. He will throw. On the slant, Sutton could not hold on. Lutz is 0 for 1 on 50-yard attempts this season. This one's on the way, and it is good! And the Broncos take the lead.
In 46 seconds as the kick goes in, to come back out and take your, take the Bears right down the field. He's played extremely well all day. He's got to go cut it loose on this last drive.
I like this effort of Dylan Cole. Just almost got there, just laid fully out. Justin Fields looked confident in that photo, in that picture, that shot of him. He's played with a ton of confidence all day today.
And another touchback for Lutz. He's done a great job in that department this year. Cooper back in the game. Fields finds Cole Kmet with some room to run. Stiff arm on Singleton, who's able to bring him down, but not before Kmet races for a first down. Fields has time. Pressure coming. Fields gets rid of it with Cooper again applying the heat in the backfield. That stops the clock with 1:18 to go.
Pass to Kmet. He tried to do it there to Herbert.
Fields over the middle and broken up, intended for DJ Moore, and Pat Surtain able to get a hand on it. Bottom of your screen, that's the matchup. DJ Moore and Pat Surtain on 3rd and 10. Fields to Moore. He's got the first down. Up to midfield, and Surtain makes the tackle. But a big play on 3rd. They pick up 14 with 1 minute to go. Fans on their feet here at Soldier Field. Fields in trouble and throws it away. Spun down by DJ Jones. And the Denver sideline wanted intentional grounding, and now there's some discussion about it.
Intentional grounding, number 1, offense. Yard penalty, loss of down, 2nd down.
Kmet has been the target over the middle. Fields to Kmet. He's got a little bit of space, and he does a good job of just angling out of bounds at the 48-yard line. 3rd down and 13. Santos' career long is 55 yards. Pressure coming. Fields over the middle. Intercepted! Picked off by Jackson, and he goes to the ground. And the Broncos will escape with their first win of the year.
Aggressive, but you got man-to-man coverage right here. Coming down. Elijah Harris coming in there. The throw's early. He's expecting him to sit it down, trusting him to sit it down. But to me, that throw has to be on the outside shoulder.
Yeah, he's got to
throw him. In these situations, you try and throw that ball to the outside shoulder to create space for your tight end in that situation.
Kareem Jackson with his 2nd interception of the season. And Sean Payton, who grew up in Naperville, Illinois, Naperville Central High School.
Roller coaster of emotions in this game for Bears fans. started out a little trepidatious earlier, then Justin Fields played amazingly. But these last two drives left a lot to be desired.